after live, please make sure to hit that like button, as it will help us push through the analytics for this live, and it'll also help us reach a more, let's just say, a wider audience base. But it'll also allow YouTube's algorithm to push it to members of the audience. You know, sometimes I get shadow banned, it doesn't push the content, but the more of you that hit that like button, the better chance we have of this pushing through the algorithm and allowing more people to come in here and have an active discussion with us. So I do really appreciate it. Sorry, I want to turn the screen just a little bit so it's a little, you don't get as much of a glare. I guess that's not even as good. But we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, XRP reversed down. We hit our technical target. We came down with the wick almost to 52 cents, but it did bounce off of that 534 area. And now we're up to almost 54 and about 54 and a half cents and some change here. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff. Don't know how long we're going to be on. It's always based on the audience interaction, based on the loyalty, the sharing, the likes, the, doing positivity within the segments. And sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. I base it basically on a personal feel. So, but it's never less than a half hour. So we have at least a half hour. Sometimes it drags on to an hour. We've had some that dragged on to 2 hours. Lately, they've been about 30 to 45 minutes. Yesterday, or was it? No, 2 days ago, we had over an hour. So it just all depends on just the mindset of the audience, the mindset of myself, and just what's going on in the, within the market itself. Today, we happen to have a very jam-packed live today because we've had a lot of things happen. I want to take a look at algo as it seems to be lagging behind some of the reversals. So we'll take a look at that, as we've only got about 50 minutes to universally come to a decision on algo as a group. I want to talk and see what we all are thinking. And not saying we're going to accumulate, because we already did at 8.5 or 9 cents. I'm talking about where it's at right now. Do we think it's going to reverse? Let's see. Ben, welcome in. Kenny, welcome. Or Ken, welcome. I think that was Ken. It went past. No. Kinu, welcome. Matt, good afternoon. Or good evening now. Bandito, welcome in. UK Phil, good evening. James, welcome in. Randad, good to see you, my brother. Good evening. Oh, man, we're going to have a nice update today. I enjoyed the 52 cents as well, because we desperately needed a dump down instead of a push up. We did not want to push up the resistance under any circumstance. We needed a dump to support. Free Toast, good evening. Wooter, welcome in. It's always great to see you in here, my friend. So let me timestamp this. I know I've still got a few people to say hello to. Good evening. 6:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, January 19th. 2024. I'm XRP future millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I was about to respond to CJ2 Pilot right when I was going through the last part. I was going to say, but be safe, CJ2 Pilot. He says he's on his way home, so he's just listening. So just please be safe. Tanya, welcome in, love. I love to see that you're in here. We got a lot to talk about with H-bar as well. Done with buying. Yep. Same here, unless something substantial happens. And substantial would be we'd have to have a much bigger drop than this. Louville, welcome in. JW, good evening, mate. Good to see you in here. Hope everything's going blessed. Gina, welcome in. Thanks for the dedication and info. You are welcome, Gina. And thank you for the dedication and watching. Angela, welcome in. Good to see you in here, love. I love seeing the audience, the wide-based men and women in here. We have such a dominant female audience in comparison to most. It makes me very happy. Can't explain it. So XRP we can see is down 0.94% or 54.6 cents. That doesn't tell the story. Just saying it doesn't tell the story. Just like if you look at Bitcoin, doesn't tell the story. It's at 41,635, up 341 points on the day, or 0.8%. But what is going unnoticed is the fact that a few weeks ago, we talked about this broadening wedge, remember? When it came up here and we said, oh, shit. Excuse my French. Ah, boy, we got a big drop coming. Could be, we were talking 7,000 points because we talked about 40,600. More particularly, though, we talked about how it would have to come and hit this support down here if it came through 40,600, and it would lead you right to the uptrend from prior formations. And this is basically, you're over this, you can pump, you're below it, you dump. And we even had it worked out in case this dumped off in a bear flag, just in case, because you have to have every motive out here, which was 38,533. It's bounced just perfectly off of this uptrend at 40,300. And we can look at the other chart. We could say it was 40,600. But when I look at this one that it bounced off of, this is very important. It's very important to hold that, because this is the resistance right here. This is when we broke out. So it's very important. This is the top of the initial broadening wedge. Ready? Resistance. Then you came out over here. Now what are we back testing? Finally, we're back testing the breakout of this broadening wedge. And for the first time, we're on the support side. We're on the support side, and we bounced off it as of right now. Now, does that continue? Nobody knows. But the point is we've now retested that broadening wedge. That's why I said that bull flag, I don't think that was still valid. That's why we came up with the other chart I put in here and showed you. This is what we're in. And this was just like the uptrend that we knew if it broke, it would come down. But that was like the rising channel. But that's not, that was to try to appease some that were saying that. This is what we were in, and we know that. We found the wedge. We diagnosed it when we were up at over 47,000. So I drew this chart out in addition to my own, just so we would have this. And obviously I put the lower number in case it did break down from there. We knew this because of the current bear flag that it could have been in, broke up. So what does this tell us? Is this telling us we're having a grand reversal in crypto? Are we just coming up to a rejection on the 4 hourly? What are we learning about the relative strength within crypto of Bitcoin, XRP? Well, right now the relative strength is pushing in. We crossed over back from oversold, and now we're pushing out into a breakout point. We broke the resistance line. We had a reversal in the 4 hourly, and on this candle, it looks like we're starting some kind of inverted hammer. Acknowledgingly, it would have to come down a little bit more to conclude an inverted hammer, but that's looking pretty damn good. The one thing we have to invalidate in the next few hours, maybe the next day or two, is this death cross in the 4 hourly. We got to come back above now. This 43,000 area is going to be very important. First over 40, yeah, I would just say 43,000. Get back over 43,000 and then start working your way up if you can use that as a support. 4 hourly, we just came out of oversold. 2 hourly, we're in the neutral area. 1 hourly, same thing, neutral. It looks like it could be working on a bent bull flag here. 45, 30, it's all in the exact same area. So if it bounces off of the uptrend, this is going to be the start of a first push up. So seeing a W reversal here, and it's a bullish Gartley, it looks like, if you want to call it a Gartley. But there's definitely something happening here. Bull flaggy as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear it. 63 people here already. Really interesting. On a dump day, I'm actually surprised there's so many people already. 39 likes. Please make sure to hit the like button. It'll allow us to continue to advance the people in here that are watching and allow us to even reach our own audience. I mean, I think today of all days are days that we need to be together. I think it's days that are like this, that if you're paying attention, you can find big opportunities. Big opportunities. So that was Bitcoin. With XRP, we're down 0.93%. Bandito re-ups in Tom's Army for the 5th month. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for renewing in Tom's Army for month number 5. You have the XRP meteor coming down to Earth now in month 5. I love that. I love it. Thank you very much, Bandito. I really appreciate that. A lot. More than you know. But XRP, 5462, 54.6 cents. Again, just like Bitcoin, it doesn't tell the story what just happened about being down like 0.75%. We came all the way down to 52 cents. This was our targeted area on a breakdown. Now, there's a couple different ways to look at this. We did come down to 534. We know lower, if we go to our other chart, was that 50-cent area. And this was just the retest of a previous breakout of the bull flag, but we've already retested it back here at 505. So if it was going to come down here, 50 cents would have been logical. But this is where we were anticipating it to hold, was at 534 and bounce off it. It came all the way down to 52. Now, what you're looking for, yeah, we have the bull flag drawn in on our other chart, but this is the breakdown point. This is the breakdown point. Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love seeing you in here. Love seeing it. So we have a little, it looks like a potential V-shaped recovery here. I mean, if this pulls up in a bull flag, don't we think it should come back and retest? I think I said 566 on my short. It's actually a little higher than that now. It's up at like I would just say 57 cents. Wow, I seen a couple donations. You know, it's been a few days since I got any donations. I'm actually blown away right now to see 2 in a row. Honestly, Bandito says, my pleasure, Tom. Oh, I want to read the rest of it just so I can see it. But thank you all so much for the generosity. Like, seriously. Feels good when I see people paying it forward. He says, go Lions as well. Yes, Lions play on Sunday at 3 at home. And if they win against Tampa Bay, which we should be the favorite. We blew them out earlier in the season. No offense to Tampa Bay fans. But we really should be the favorites there. I'll get back to that in a sec. Randad, thank you so much for the $49.99 donation. Talk about a good way or a beautiful show of support from the two of you. Like, wow. To put it in perspective, those 2 donations equal I've gotten like the last 5 lives combined for the last 5 days. Not even that much. So like to put it in perspective, you guys just paid it forward in a huge way. Thank you so much. More than I could even express. So thank you, Randad. Very loyal. He's got the very long, over 2-year emoji badge. That's the last one I was able to do. We're getting close to 36-month members. I know he's one of them getting closer. So at 36 months, I'll be able to put a new badge out, which I'm excited about. I think we have one member at 34. It's either 33. No, a couple members now. 33 or 34 months. I can't remember. But as far as the Lions, yeah, it'll be cool if when we go to the conference championship. But it's nice to have the divisional round in the playoff at home and against a team that I think we're better than. But it's the NFL. I already got what I needed. You know, this is all just gravy for me. I already got what I needed. That's it. That's all I ever needed. That's all I ever wanted. And that's all I ever wanted. I waited since 97 for that. The Lions, it's the Lions. Yes, it would be awesome if they won, but I don't live and die on the Lions. You know, Michigan, it's a little different. So, anyhow, I would love to see them win the Super Bowl, though. I won't lie. Prana, welcome in. Yes, indeed, Super Bowl champs coming very soon. But, yeah, doesn't it look... That's exactly it. If the Lions win, hell is officially frozen over. I mean, in Michigan, since we won the national championship, it's been cold. Very cold. Under 0 degrees. Today we finally got a little warmer. It was 25 and it felt like 10. Got 6 or 7 inches of snow since, and we only had 0.1 inches before, so we've definitely broken something. So, but with XRP, I think this is bull flagging here a little bit. And I also think it looks like looks like a V-shaped recovery. Now, yes, that's a reversal candle, so if anybody is paying attention, now we got to find where the hell this reversal would go. Like, what are we looking for? So let's look at the 30. Okay. First thing we should probably come down is a step. We'll probably take a step down to a 543. We're closing at 7. I would not be surprised if we have a small move towards here. But it definitely could come back and touch support again. I wouldn't be surprised as well. Maybe it does this. It came into 522. Now we come back around and hold this 534. Ernie, excellent input. I seen Ernie said this. He said about coming back to support. I would not be surprised. That might be a way to do it. How often have we seen a pattern like that? Kind of looks like the birds as kids when we would draw them. All right, that looks like ass. I'm not an artist, though, so don't judge me. I don't remember how they looked. Kind of like this, yeah. There you go. But that's kind of what it looks like. And that would make sense because this could drop. Whoops. This could drop in the RSI, hit the trend line, and then bounce through. That would be interesting. Give a chance to scare away some of the longs because it really does look like we should come up here this weekend. We should be coming back up here to like this 5. It's like 568. I said 566 earlier, which that's what it is. But now that the uptrend's moved on, I think it's more 568 the more I look at this. Obviously, we continue to move on day by day, hour by hour. So, but it looks like we should have a little bit of a reversal here. Just me being honest, this should come back down and meet this trend line. Just because we always want to back test the moves. Otherwise, it just becomes a straight shot. 30-minute, we've got plenty of room to continue going. Even if it doesn't small correct, maybe we just come up in the hourly. But the point is we've got room here now. 2 hourly leaves a little bit to be desired right now. There's no doubt about that. It hasn't done anything on this candle. 3 hourly, see, but that looks pretty good. That's technically setting up as an inverted hammer. Yeah, some people say it's not 6 times the size, Tom. You know, that's just hearsay anyhow. You call it an inverted hammer when it feels and looks like one. It doesn't necessarily have to fit the exact billing. If I let everything fit the billing, I'd always be wrong. If I went to technical terms. I taught myself how to do this, so I could be completely wrong, but it works for me. The daily time frame, what can we say? When the daily closes today, there's going to be an oversold. There's no doubt about that. Maybe there is a doubt about that, because we did come back up to no, it should be. Because it's going to show us the progression through the day. So maybe we'll come into oversold and you'll see it kind of bend, like, you know, like bend around. So we'll see. This is interesting, though. This is one of the more fascinating days we've had in the last couple weeks. Let's be honest. A little more excitement. And some people are like, oh, Tom's always at his most excited when it dumps. You know, not to go against the grain, but against popular belief, I am invested. You know, I am, yes, it's much lower than we are now. It would still have to have nice drops for me to even get close to where some of the buy-ins are, obviously. Well, all the buy-ins. But from an XRP perspective, we've still got, 20-something cents lower we would have to go. But against popular belief, I don't want it to go down. I only wanted it to go down from 2021 until we were bought back in. It gave us our opportunity. Now, if it wants to go down, it could be more of an opportunity. But now I'm all good. I want it to go up. I'm done with this down horse shit. But I'm not naive enough to their knave or whatever you want to call it. I'm not hopiumed enough to just expect or wait for that now. Like this looks like a bull flag setup here in the 4 hourly. I could be crazy. But look how that pulled up into a hammer and now it completely followed. Even though it was a bearish hammer technically because it was red. Who's to say? The only difference between a bearish and bullish hammer is a new high wasn't formed. Like, let's cut the shit. Sometimes it breaks down too much and it turns into a bearish inverted hammer. It's always followed up by the next candle. Even if it's a bullish hammer, if the next candle's junk, it's going to be a bad candle and it's going to go back down. So a lot of the stigmatisms around this is because we read it out of a book. Right? We read it out of a book. I don't read this. I've read, but when I interpret it myself, I started seeing these and I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, like when somebody first said a doji, I'm like, a what? What are we in Japan? I use different settings. I use the Heikinashi. Are we talking about that? You know, and then I started realizing, you know what I first was introduced to? Everybody always wanted to tell me, you got to learn the Fibonacci. You got to learn the Fib retracement. You've got to learn the fan. And you've got to learn this. And I said, at what point did we get away from freehand in this chart and rely on the artificial intelligence? The same programs that are trading. You're going to always be a step behind if you only rely on the trading out of the indicators. Like you're always going to be a step behind. For example, the daily time frame for XRP doesn't look like it's oversold. We sure as hell know it dumped deep. And we went into oversold on every time frame. If the 4 hourly is way down there, I can guarantee you the daily is pretty close. It's just going to show it on a delayed fashion. So now when the daily closes, you could see this trend line pop down. And then it could come out. But it could already show this within that entire daily. You could already see a bend and back towards neutral, even if it was in oversold, because it's going to show you on a delayed fashion. That's why we start. I don't even care about the 135 unless you're buying like a futures contract trade. You better be in the 135. Other than that, you want the 135 only to match up with the rest. And what I mean by that, as I found within these indicators, you see how we came way down here, and then we bounced. Well, initially in the 45, when it first came down, it just kept coming. Why? Why didn't it just buy? So what I like to do is see how the 45's down here. I'll go through the indicators and say, well, the 30, okay, it's caught up. And when it did catch up, I'd be like, all right. Well, on these, it might have been still up here on the 5, or so I wait for it all to kind of line up. And then that's why I say, if the daily, then the 4 hourly, and the 2 hourly, and the 1 hourly, and the 45, and the 15, and all these are catching up and they're in the same spot, you got time for a reversal. That's how we knew earlier that it was ready. Told everybody, there's an opportunity right now. I came on live, talked about the opportunity. I'm not in a futures trade with this. I actually have my eye, well, I'm in something else, obviously, where I've made a little bit of money, but I'm looking at this for perspective too. I want to know if this is for real, I can catch this when it has this retracement we're talking about. Or we've got 31 minutes and I want to know perspective, because remember how we started this? Does anybody remember how we started this, the target where we were talking about in the beginning of this? We've got 88 people, 64 likes. Please hit that like button. I expect everybody in my audience to hit the like button because I put the content out for free. I encourage you to hit the like button for all the time I put in and the time I take away of my own time. After all, the thing I can give you most besides my knowledge is my time. Without my time, you learn nothing, and I can give nothing if I'm not willing to give my time. And third and last but not least, I think the fact that you can come in here open, honest, and every single day and not have to deal with the BS. And what I mean by the BS is the promotion, paid promotions, paid sponsorships, and paid advertisements. Every other station you go to, in the first 3 minutes, the middle of it, the end of it, everywhere, they're telling you to do this, do that, buy this, buy that. I don't tell you shit. I tell you what's going on the chart, and I go about my way. I'll tell you how you can trade. All you have to do is look in the video description below, and you can trade like I do. I've got the links to how I futures trade. But that's how you can trade the way I do if you don't want to pay as much spot fees. Everybody complains to me about Uphold. I give you a solution in the comments, the video description, so you don't have to pay those ridiculous spot fees. I'm open and honest. In 2021, I was paying the ridiculous spot fees on certain assets. Like XRP, that was 2021. You don't need to do that anymore. You can simply send it from all these exchanges to Uphold if you so desire. And I base it on Uphold because that's my audience base. So don't cost yourself money just by trying to buy something. That's the whole point. And I put it all in one place. That's all my advertising. And then I'll tell you, if you want to support me, you can join Tom's Army to pay it forward. Or you can send a YouTube super chat. And just like that, that's my advertising, because I advertise myself. You know why? Because it's my program. And I'm advertising what I'm doing. I'm advertising XRP Future Millionaire. I'm not advertising, and I know everybody in this audience has heard a few of them, and I don't know if I want to really insult everybody by saying it, because I might want to make you want to bash your head through the wall. But how about your favorite ones? How about go get the Express VPN? Imagine if I was doing that all day. Right? You really want to hear that all day? So just show your appreciation by hitting the like button. That's the whole point of this. All you have to do is hit the like button, and I'm happy. I really am. Everybody who's ever watched me knows if I get a very nice likes, I'm happy. I can push my program. I don't pay for advertising. That's the only way I can do it is word of mouth. It's the best way to do it. I don't need no bullshit in here. I don't need no, so we take it from an approach of positivity, but we also give back in the way we can. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be financial. Oh, no, no, no. Because what I'm giving you is not coming out of my pocket. What I'm giving you is coming out of... So I'm not giving you a financial compensation or financial contribution, but it can turn into a huge financial contribution. So... But yeah, I'm thinking... Yeah, we talked about the first level was 534 when we came on. I seen somebody say that. Because we were talking about... Or 543, I mean... We were talking about first layer was to come to the 30 minute, if everybody remembers. And it was just starting to show this reversal. We talked about coming down here, and this would be your first layer of, is it going to hold here, or could we split it back down to 534? Your first indicator would be if we break this. Right now, I don't want to say it's supporting it, but this is your big indicator that, you know what? There's 27 minutes left, and we're already to the bottom of this wick. Maybe, just maybe, this is where we liquidate, even if we're going up the rest of the longs. Are we going to make, instead of it being a V shape, are we going to come down and... See, this is where it becomes risky. This is where you have to be a real risk taker if you're futures trading, if you don't wait for confirmations. Because I've seen many times where it just pulls down and comes lower, just to create another W like that. Who's seen that before in something like this? Get rejected by the 30. Who's seen that? I've seen that a million times. And then you look and you're like, oh shit, it was telling us the whole time that a W's coming. Or who's seen this? It confirms it. Or again, who's seen this? You know, you don't know which way it's going to happen, because then we could say, oh look, it was an inverted head and shoulders the whole time and we just didn't see it. You know, there's so many ways. So what I look at is this kind of looks like an M topping reversal, but doesn't it look like a first layer bull flag? If you look at it a little farther, because I don't see a way for this not to be a left shoulder if we're going to finish out the pattern. So somehow, some way, something's going to give in the next, I would say, the next 3 30-minute candles we'll have our answer. So that gets us into the close at 7. It gets us a half an hour after. Oh, dear Lord, I forgot to talk about what I was going to. And we're getting close. We need to talk about algo. So how does that sound, everybody? How does that sound? And I'm not saying we're leaving, because we're not. I'm going to grab my water, but I want to see what everybody thinks. Please make sure to hit that like button. We're doing a much better job, though. All right. See if anybody said anything. Obviously, I have to wait until somebody says something. As clear as mud. Tom, don't advertise that. Fake. Brad Garlinghouse, double your XRP. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? I get sick of seeing it in my own videos. But I'm trying to watch my replay, and then it shows me a YouTube ad because I'm not paying monthly for their stupid, you don't have to watch ads. I could, but I'm not. So I watch my own ads, believe it or not, that they make me watch. But yeah, I get sick of that commercial myself. Double your XRP. And Brad Garlinghouse comes on, a whole bunch of people come on. Don't forget to do your Flare airdrop. Double your holdings. What they don't tell you is if you hold Flare, you get monthly airdrops. You don't even have to do anything on Uphold. Oops, did I tell a secret? So everybody who tells you that BS, it's just that. I've been telling everybody, I've been getting 600 to 700 Flare monthly on Uphold. I bought just over 10,000. In the last 3 months, I've gotten 670, 680 something. And this month, it was almost 700. Every month, I've been getting them since I bought it. I've gotten over 1,900 in airdrops. Every month I get them, I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, it's crazy. Oh, yeah, Flare's killing it for us. Killing it for us. We bought it at, what was it? 0085 as a community. When we bought it on Winning Wednesdays. And I said, oh, I'll take the leap and pay, what was it, 85 bucks or whatever. Maybe a few cents or a few dollars more. And now, you know. But yeah, upside down pineapple, somebody said. Yep, absolutely. And we know how that plays out. I like that analogy, actually. You want to know why? You want to know why? Let's just say this reverses. I like that a lot, actually. Because you could use your interpretation. You could use your mental ability. You know, your mental... we could draw this in ourselves and be like, well, how high would it have to go to technically create a pineapple? You know, and that's where you can have fun with the charts. But I like that analogy. Now, unless you're saying... Well, you are saying an upside-down pineapple, which means I would be holding it upside down, which I like that you're saying it like that. Now, how high could it come up then? I know we have to talk about algo. I'm just excited because of the way the pattern went. I've been waiting for this drop for weeks. I told everybody I feel like I'm going nuts. Because I've been talking about the same thing over and over and over. And then what happens? We get exactly what I said when you get the fake out back to the top side, just to come back down anyhow. And what happens, everybody goes, ah, that dumb fuck. He said, oh, excuse my friends, that dumb son of a grapes. He thinks it's going to go down. And then it goes right back up. And then it comes here and they're like, son of a, how does he know? Even if it goes up, he just said it goes up there just to come back down. How in the bloody hell does he know that? I want to know. It's because it couldn't go any higher. The RSI was out of control. Everybody remembers. There was no place to go but down, and that just created the head. Now we've completed the pattern. This is the beauty of this kind of a pattern. It's a quick head and shoulders. Ready? Left shoulder, third, right shoulder. You get the artificial dive down. Maybe it's like boom, boom, boom. And then you do this. I don't know how to explain it. That's why whoever said the pineapple, it's beautiful. Because then you kind of get, you know, we can fill in the top. But I guess we have a drink now. Or yeah, maybe it's a tooth. I don't know. It kind of turned into something that it's not. But you get the picture. But yeah, it's exciting. Exciting times. Exciting times. When we got the liquidity dump, it means that we didn't go through the short-term pain. So basically, you take the short-term gain, you get not just a long-term pain, but yeah, it's going to be torment along the way. Now, if you dump down like we did, you take that short-term pain, you take your lumps, and then you can have those longer-term pumps or the run-ups or just the consolidation to where we're like, okay, we're working towards something. If you keep going up, you can't work towards anything. And then some people have said in the comments, well, you know what, Tom? Yes, Jason. That they'll say, you know what? How do we need retracement? The only thing XRP's ever done in its history is retrace. Be that as it may, when it runs up to 92 cents in 2 days, you better believe there's retracements along the way. Then it runs right back up to 85. It's got no choice but to come back. Then when it runs right back up, because it's not consolidating at all, it just decided to run up, just like here. Decided to dump down too quick. So until it got to where it was going, a double bottom even maybe, or it was doing a stepping stone. But look, it's a perfect way to say it. Dump too fast, pump too high, wasn't ready. Maybe this is where it completes that rotation. I know it looks stupid, because if I was looking at this from the outside, I'd say this, if I didn't know any better, this guy's an asshole. If it was my first, and I'm not making fun of myself, I'm just saying, like, there's no way all of the stuff I say can actually happen. But if you watch every single day, what I say right now is exactly what's going to happen in the next couple days. We all know it. It doesn't matter, because I'm not saying concretely it's going down or up. I'm saying it's stuck within a rotation. And then if I give you the two numbers that it can only hit, it does look like a wine glass formation, G-ball. I can see that. I definitely could see that. So, real quick, we're having fun with XRP. How many people stuck around? Wow. See, some days I'm surprised. You guys are surprising me today. 92 people are sticking around. Can I ask you a question? What made you show up today over like another day? Yesterday I thought we did very well. We had like 80 people in here even when it was dumping. But what made you come in today? Is it because we hit those support numbers that we've been talking about? Are you happy, even if you haven't never watched this show before? Did it draw you in because we actually went to liquidity, we went to support, instead of having an artificial pump up again? Are you excited because the Bitcoin ETF was announced and now we've retraced the significant amounts? Or are you here because you just like to be here every day, no matter if it's up or down, you just want to stay in the loop and you want to make sure that you understand the formation no matter what? Did you go long, Tom? Sean, I've been long. I have not taken a futures trade on any crypto. The only thing I'm long in that I've been open and honest about, and I showed everybody when I bought it, was with, and it makes me nervous that it's going into a weekend, but PaxG, I bought it, most of it at $19.95, some around 2000 and some at 2007. So I just said my average was 2000 even though it's below it. It's just something that I wanted to ride up a little bit. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in it, because if something gives me the opportunity, I very well might dump this for a small profit, maybe 100, 150 bucks, and put it into a trade that I'm about to talk about. So as of right now, I'm still in PAX G. We're up about $15 to $20 depending on where you bought it per, and I'm on a 10x. But I don't necessarily want to get rid of it because what do you see in the daily, everybody? We had red, and now what does that look like? A beautiful, what kind of candle is that? If you're looking for a reversal, that is a beautiful reversal candle right now. The question is does it want to come down or does it immediately take off? So I have to wait until 7 o'clock to see a tug direction. And when I'm looking at the smaller time frames, the 1 minute is in a neutral area, 3 minute, and I like to start from the bottom, neutral, 5 minute is coming up, 15 minute coming up, plenty of room, and we're breaking through resistance. Remember, 30 minute, we're attempting to start pushing back. We'll see though here, or 45, I mean, hourly, good spot still, but I'm still overly cautious because what if this plays out and doesn't rotate up and this is what you have to pay attention to, this, let's say it does this, it turns into a bear flag and then it comes down here and corrects the rest of the way. That is what you have to look at in the hourly, if that's what it's trying to do, or is it going to come up and break this and then it can finish this move? That is the big question because gold looks like it could have a start of a rally to start the week. DXY looks like it could start the week in a bad way after the last little bit of a move up that we talked about. So 2 hourly, it's starting to have like kind of a descending formation, but in the 2 hourly, you start looking at it. I'm trying to show you guys little tricks. If this pulls up, you definitely see a W here, and then it'd probably back test and just come out. So, or you just keep rotating. You could come up for rejection, then come down. So I'm keeping all eyes open. Yeah. They approved it. Yeah, overbought. Absolutely. Everything was overbought. It was overextended. And right when they announced it, or right before they did, remember what I said? Whoever was here, we talked about it was a buy the rumor, sell the news. And we knew that because the weekly was so overextended, it was punching us in the face through my screen. Like I was coming on here getting bloodied. Literally. The relative strength index of Bitcoin was reaching through the screen and punching me in the face. That's how overbought it was, overextended. And I'm like, man, it's getting dangerous to cover Bitcoin now because I'm getting tired of getting beaten up. Look how when we announced the Bitcoin ETF, look where we were at in the weekly. And it was not 195. I don't know why it switched it to the other way that it's looking, but it seems to like to do that. And there's really no way for me to change it because the setting changes on its own, and then I just have to hope it changes back in due time. Gotta love TradingView. But yeah, we were overextended. But anyhow, Algo's at 1726. There we go, now it's back. Even with all my ramblings, it hasn't changed yet. Algo, what caught my attention was the 4 hourly. Not the 3 hourly, the 4 hourly. What does this look like in the 4 hourly? Does that not look like a long leg doji? And are we not oversold in the 4 hourly? Which it'll start coming back up, pushing that trend line. But to me, that looks like a W reversal in the making, and it looks like we're lagging behind. This is one that I found that honestly looks like boom, boom, and if this plays out, you can totally see that W. I mean, I'm just saying, this is one that it seems like it's a little behind, and coming on, I wanted to talk to everybody. Does that look like a reversal, or, and sometimes when you get the reversal, you have a couple legs down first. Reversal, leg. Is this the reversal to finally signal the reversal? This one was telling us we're starting to get oversold in this area, and then we came down anyhow, and now we've corrected. This almost looks like a hammer candle. Remember what we talked about? Looks like a hammer candle. Yes, it's red, but that's because we didn't create a new high because we dumped so far. And now we got this shirtless guy climbing up a hill. I don't know why I have to see him every time. But, hey, he's in good shape. He's building a good physique, and he's apparently telling us to climb through the trades. So that's what we'll do, sir. We will climb through the trades. So what we're looking at is, I think, hammer candle, which is telling us we should be reversing. I know it's red, and it depends on the next candle and the fact that it's actually showing us a reversal candle. This is telling us, open our eyes, we could be reversing. This candle says, hey, reversal. This candle said, hey, getting a little weak in the area. Could be a reversal. Well, I know we came down, but, you know, it's still might be a little early. Might be a little early. Almost actually formed like a dragonfly doji, but a little early. Came back down, created a hammer, but not a new low. Yes, we came down to a new low, but if we closed above 1729, we wouldn't make a new low from that candle on. And what did we do here? We opened up pretty good. We had a low end of the candle at 1718, but where are we at right now? 1725. So anybody's guess. It's anybody's guess if this is the actual reversal, but this is the spot that got me interested. Look at the RSI, how it's oversold. 3 hourly, we can see it push back up. Got on top of the trend line, but in the 3 hourly, what did we do? We had a reversal candle to the downside. Didn't really move anywhere in 3 hours. We held the entire candle. So are we going up or down? That's the question I'm asking you. How would you judge this? Personally, I think we would have to have another move up real quick because the relative strength is so oversold in the 4 hour perspective. And it looks like we'd want to retest it to the top side. Seems to me like we would want to come up and at least retest the broken area. But I'm telling you, it's tough right now. There's still moves. There's moves to be dependent. There's moves to be made. But at the end of the day, like somebody said, it does depend on Bitcoin. But I was just asking an open and honest question about algo. Do you think it's behind? Look at where XRP was from a 4 hour perspective. So we had, remember, the same kind of candle, same thing we're talking about. We can see how it's moved up, or did we just think it's similar parts of the pattern? The only difference is we're on a reversal. So, no, it's hard to tell. That's why I'm asking. It's definitely a hard one, this one. So, the immediate short term, if I had to guess, take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up to a major resistance right now. Our line in the sand first area is 42,000. If Bitcoin's over 42,000 and holds, we're going up still. If Bitcoin gets rejected here, remember, if we fall through 40,300, we do have a technical move that could bring us to 38,500. So, how do we get that big bounce back? It's always going to be the big question. It's always going to be the big question right now. The only thing that I can tell you is in the 4 hourly for Bitcoin, it's broken back into a bullish proposition here as far as the relative strength is concerned. 3 hourly and everything above it's got plenty of room right now. 2 hourly is coming back for a small correction. So, getting rejected a little bit at the 2 hourly, though. That's interesting. So maybe we do come down to like the 30-minute and see. Yep, that's exactly what we're probably going to do. Bullish cross here in the 30-minute, 41,400 right now. Be looking to hold 41,400 on a retracement if it comes down. And I only say that because even those small bouts of volatility, you get a little bit of support for a little bit of a slingshot. While from here, even if it just wants to come here, it's not a very big slingshot up to 42,168. It's already been there once. But that, I mean, we can't ignore the fact that it looks like a W reversal. Until it's not. Also, you could say it's like a V-shaped recovery on the second wing. So until it breaks this, I mean, you'd have to think it has one more leg up. The birds are chirping that they won't go below 39K. Well, that very well could be the possibilities that it doesn't go below 40 or 39K. If we look at Bitcoin, it doesn't need to go all the way down. It's cleared a lot. Algo looks like it's in a descending bearish wedge headed to 161. We will look at it from that perspective. I was hoping somebody would say something. So, if we want to look at it from your perspective, I mean, we could look at this, I think, two different ways. Especially if we're looking at, like, I mean, we could go from here. Might make it a little sloppy, though. I don't know if I necessarily like... I don't know if I necessarily like that just because we did break down. So I think we could get a little bit more out of it just coming from this part of the pattern. We already know the previous part. I need to see something just real quickly. Nope, that's not even... I'm not going to get an accurate in the 30-minute. We're going to have to bring this out just a little bit. Okay. I got no choice. We got to do what we got to do, folks. Now it's just a question of where the hell does this meet? And we also don't know if this is going to be a support bottom. But that's what we did. On this drop down, that's what we're in now. So it's either a support or we come down farther. Time I charted at the 4 hour where you had it at first. Oh, okay. That's why I started there. That's the only way I could come to where you were saying. I was just trying to get a very short on this right arm. Very short on the right. Because this could be a right arm here. But yeah, you came across. You definitely, I know what you did. Let's see if it breaks this. Let's see if it breaks this, and then we could absolutely come down into that area. I think that's actually a perfect area. It might even come down a little bit farther. No. No. Only because I like to use these... Everybody knows who watches me. I like to use these resistance points that were coming through on the way up. Just in case you break back through. I like to use these. I know a lot of people don't. But I believe past performance lets you see future action. What was your number? 161? So yeah, my friend, you're dead on the money. Even the past performance would agree with you. That's, to me, the old resistance, when it has hard time coming up, double top, came back down, consolidated, then broke out. I always say this. I find it very rare that you don't come back and retest a lot of times that same hit. Now, we've come close, and it could have put a double bottom in, but if we were to come down, that's a good area that you picked. Especially what you're seeing in the newer formation. You're seeing a wedge, or like a falling wedge. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm going to get rid of this just so we can get out of some of the noise within this pattern. It's interesting because it's oversold right now in the 4 hourly. It's going to come up a little bit because of the reversal candle. But man, oh man. I think that 161's money spot though. I mean, we could say we're in a falling channel, I suppose. I suppose we could say a falling channel. It's just now you have to commit to a much bigger drop. Because you could certainly say maybe something like this. Maybe that's what you're talking. Maybe something like that. Even that's getting... I just prefer to stay within this right now. I prefer to stay within this. This is a stationary support. Maybe a little uptrend, but we've hit twice. I prefer to stay in this because even if we get rejected, maybe it comes up here. Then you could say support. Support 2, and then if it breaks that, all hell is going to break loose. So I think that's what I got, everybody. I'm pretty happy with that. We got XRP closing in 4 minutes, so we'll stay on for 4 more minutes and see this close. Let's take a look to see the news. What does everybody think, though? What does everybody think? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot one. Actually, I forgot a couple. H-bar down 0.23% to 0.075, so 7.5 cents. I mean, that could be a sneaky W reversal there. You see how we wick down, starting to reverse back. But we're firmly within this channel now. We've talked about this. We're stuck within the channel. If we come down any more and we get a rejection here in the shorter time frame, your next support here is going to be right around 7 cents. A bounce back up to resistance is now 8.5. So you're stuck between 7 cents as a flat support, 8.5 cents roughly as the resistance. Until you break back out of there, we're unfortunately back in this channel. Or fortunately, depending on what you're talking about or where you bought it at. Because if you bought it at like 5 cents, 4 cents, 6 cents, you won't mind this. Because you're within that consolidatory zone and you're still up in a nice way. So that's what we've fallen back into. If this takes over any more than just like a head and shoulders topping reversal, and it wants to go past this, well, yeah, then you're going to come back to consolidation at 5.7. But as of right now, it doesn't look terrible. We did dump down a lot. We've relieved a lot of pressure. Last week we were in overbought. This week it's looking quite the opposite. And we're continuing the majestic move down. Yeah, exactly, Tanya. When you're up, it doesn't matter. It's easier to watch all of this. It's easier to just see exactly what's happening. Crypto bought some more XRP today. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Just make sure it's proportionate to your portfolio. And if you haven't started a portfolio, never too early to start looking when it's at 52 cents. Just pay attention to the formations. And, if you bought it today, understand every 20% down, you have to make an equal buy. That's just my own rule if this is your first time you bought. And then eventually, if you made a good decision, you'll be able to buy what you want, even if you have to buy it in separate installments. And on the reversal, you'll have exactly what you want. With DGB, we look like a double bottom, at least in the short term. Looks like it could have been formed here at 00750. However, it's too early to tell. The 4 hourly looks nice. Looks like a nice inverted on a hammer candle, followed up by what looks like potentially an inverted hammer candle. These are nice. This is a nice, could be reversal here. And you say could be because you don't know. We were way in the oversold in the 4 hourly. Now we're starting to come back up to a trend line. 3 hourly broke through that trend line. 2 hourly obviously broke through. Now it could come back to back test it. But it could come up one more layer first before a back test. But the point is we broke through the resistance of the relative strength in the 3 hourly. And the 4 hourly we don't know because the candle's not closed. But we know based on the evidence that we probably came through it. So that's what I'm looking at for DGB. And real quick, XLM. XLM bounced off. So, you could not have measured this better. XLM, we had the target of down here. And this was just a short-term pattern. You don't even need to see that anymore. But we knew once it fell through there, if it fell through where we were going, or if it went up. But it fell through. This is a targeted zone. If it breaks this is where it gets interesting. But we were so oversold that we had to start reversing. We could have still went down more in the relative strength, but we got into an area where it was inducive for a push up. I love it. It keeps switching my, you guys all see how it keeps switching. It's so funny. But anyhow, it looks like finally we came down to dump, and we actually came down to a nice level to where we should have some kind of relief rally here. Even if it's to go back to rejection, there should still be some kind of reverse rally. So the daily candle closed here with XLM. Ooh, this is still tricky. Because you're right in the middle. Now, does it go up or does it come down? It's very tricky. If it comes down first, it could build something. This is tricky. So that's tricky. That's what I'm saying. It's very tricky right now. XRP, very tricky candle. That's a very tricky candle. Especially because sell volume appears to be going up still. Daily time frame, though, look how it started coming down and then it just kind of reversed sideways. That's because of how much we pulled up on the daily candle. So you basically stood pat. But we'll see. In the next few hours, we're definitely going to see. We're going to see if we decide to pull up. We're going to see if 534 ends up being that line in the sand now. Or if we continue coming down. 30-minute time frame, we came below the 20-day. Just a tad. If we're below 544, you can say 543, but 544, it could be a move to 534. If we bounce off of this, your next move, you should be coming closer to 57 cents. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you all for keeping me entertained this evening. It's been a beautiful, roughly hour together. I thank each and every one of you who put in your time here. I got to get going, though. My voice is starting to, it's a little shot still, but, between the cold and my sports teams, especially Michigan, doing what they have to do, and now the Lions, the voice can be a little rough. I've been on here. It's my second live today. I did an update this morning, did a short, so it's been a jam-packed day. I love everybody here. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate the community we have. I appreciate the ones who put the effort in. I know somebody said DAG. DAG came right down, as we talked about yesterday, to the support. You can't make that up. That's the support of the formation it's in. If it broke down, as we talked about, then you have to look down for the lower levels. But first area for a shot was when it was up here yesterday, and then we said it had to come down here for consolidation. It bounced off it. Now, the one thing there is to know, look how big of a descending channel that was. If this actually breaks out of it, you'd expect it to correct all the way back up. Now, the first rejection here could come at 566. And we're getting pretty close, so keep your eyes open for that. Go Niners. Best of luck with the Lions. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't mind seeing a Lions-Niners matchup. But yeah, DAG looks like it's trying to start its reversal as well. 30-minute looks like a small bull flag, but remember, you got to get past the 200-day right here. Otherwise, I would not be surprised if, just like with XRP, you see it right down at 522, and then it starts moving from there. But right now, it's trying its ass off. It's trying hard to get through here. Had a reversal, now it's trying to push in on top can. But we'll see. We'll see. So thank you all. I got to get going. I got to go take care of the kids. Have a blessed evening. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart, and I'll catch you later.